Happy New Year. Oh my goodness. Fucking made it. Oh my god. So, welcome to Manga. I am Sheena. She's a geek. And this is my top 24 for 2024. Good job, Sheena. 2024. My god. It was a complete shit show. It was said, I'm going to make you remember me. Okay. So, yeah, just a whole bunch of BS happened. But, books were really there for me, especially my audiobooks. So I was able to get over 200 books read and listened to this year because Lord knows I didn't want to be in reality. So yeah, my books were definitely my best friend this year. So I'm not going to go over all 200 and something books, but I will like highlight them at the end. Okay. But yeah, I just thought I've seen a lot of people do like top 10s and like top 20s. I'm like, well, I'll give myself a little bit of a, a little bit of fucking, what is it called? A little leeway. So, because some wiggle room because I read so many and listened to so many. But yeah, I just wanted to go over and share some of them. Maybe there's some of them are yours. Maybe some of them are not, and that's okay. So yeah, but let's just get into it. Okay, first up, I'm going to start with two of my favorite ongoing mangas, and that is Chainsaw Man for the first one. I think 4 volumes came out this year, and I absolutely love them. I actually read and keep up with the weekly or bi-weekly releases of chapters on Viz Media, but Chainsaw Man continues to wow me, and I just love it. I just love all of it. My boy Denji just trying to find his way. All he wanted to do was look at some boobs and eat and hang out with his dog, but he's got other big boy problems going on. So yeah, I'm just proud of him, and I can't wait to see how this wraps up, even though I wanted to go on for 20 more fucking volumes, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, and I just love them. I love all the characters. You get to see a lot more of the primal fears, and I mean primal devils and everything like that. You get to really see some action and some gore, some things that really hurt Denji that he's having to face. Like it just stays consistently good. Fujimoto knows how to tell a story. He really has you thinking. So yep, I give that a 4 out of 5, of course. And then no other than Dun Dun Dun. Oh my goodness. So the anime came out this year, and I keep trying to tell people when I started reading it when it was only like 1 or 2 volumes out, I was like, man, this is going to be the next biggest thing. And it got all the love that it deserved this year. So I think I'm all caught up. That's another one that I read weekly. But I think 4 volumes came out in English this year. So I devoured them again, even though I had already seen them and read them. And then I have my son reading them. And that's such a beautiful story. I fucking love that story so much. Momo and Ken and Gigi and all of them just, all the shit that they keep getting themselves into. And not by choice either. But even if you don't read manga, you need to read the story. It is so good. It's so good. It'll touch your heart. It'll have you laughing. It's so much action. So it's just the world building and the character building in these stories are just wonderful. So I will always preach these books to anybody. So yes, 4.5 out of 5. This next manga series is going to be a series that blows up too once the anime comes out this year, and that is The Summer Hikaru Died. And I read volumes 3 and 4 this year, and let me tell you, this is easily like, if I had to pick just one manga that was, the manga of the year, it would have been The Summer Hikaru Died. So, if anybody doesn't know, you meet these 2 kids. They live in this village, and they've grown up together, and one of them, for whatever reason, goes out into the mountains, and he doesn't come back, and something else comes back in his his return, in his place. And it is some kind of creature, some kind of monster, but it lives in Hikaru's skin. And the only person that's really figuring it out that it's not Hikaru anymore is his best friend. And it is done so beautifully. You have this monster that doesn't know what feelings are, but has Hikaru's feelings and all his thoughts and stuff in him. And he is falling, like you could tell that he's infatuated with his best friend, and he doesn't know where his feelings end, where Hikaru's feelings end, or where his begins. And it's just so good. And his friend is trying to, keep this under wraps, but it's so stressful to keep all this stuff to himself. So a lot of it, like 3 and 4, a lot of it they try to figure out like what this creature is and what it wants, and like because the creature doesn't really remember anything but coming down from the mountain. So, but all this other crazy shit starts happening now that he's found a way out of the mountain. So other entities want to find a way to come out of the mountain too and live amongst the humans, but not everyone, not all of them want to not hurt the humans, if that makes sense. So they're just trying to solve this big mystery, but at the same time, he's dealing with like the death of his friend. Like he keeps being reminded that his friend is not here anymore. So it's just so gut wrenching at times, and it's such a good fucking book. And I need everybody to read this. I don't care. It has like a hint of like romance, but don't let that deter you from reading a great story, So the anime is coming out this year, and I am so excited. I saw peeks of it. They show the trailer for it, and it's almost like frame from frame. It looks beautiful. So yes, 4.5 out of 5. Like this is pure perfection. Another one that just kicked me right in the fucking chest, and that was Given number 9. This was the final volume to the Given series. Oh my god. I cried. I bawled. It was so good. It was just such a good ending. Even though I didn't want it to end, it was such a good ending to these boys' story. So you get to meet these group of boys, and there's this one. He's transferred, and he went through something really fucked up, and he is wanting to learn how to play guitar for his own personal reasons. And then he meets this other boy that's already in a band, and he asks him to teach him. And within that time, they, find out that they are falling for each other. And it is just a beautiful story about these men that are in this band together, and they form a band, and all, like all their relationships around them and stuff. And just the way that it ended, oh my god. The first volume, no wait, the second, the fifth, and the last one completely destroyed me. And I love it for whoever's going to read it all the way through. You're in for a fucking treat, because this story is such a good one, such a good BL. Like it's, something really traumatic happens to one of them, and there's this one icky part that happens, but it's not as terrible as some BL can be. But don't let that deter you from not reading this story, because it is phenomenal. So I have every volume. And the anime comes out, I think, or it's already out, and I just haven't had the courage to watch it because I already know it's gonna break my heart. So, but yeah, it's worth it, getting your heart broken over. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Let's go. All right, for another manga, I read The Sheep Princess in Wolf's Clothing. Oh my goodness, I love this series so much. So it's a Yuri series, so that's like girl love series, and it is just ridiculously cute. And I think I read volumes 2, 3, and 4. And oh man, so this story is about a little sheep princess, and she lives in her little sheep world and castle, and then people, like other animals, like wolves, are like servants basically, and she has this one wolf named Aki that pretty much is like her her everything, her bodyguard, her teacher, her mentor, like everything, you know. But they end up falling for each other, and Aki is so in love with her, but she knows that she can't be with the princess because she's a princess, you know, she's royalty, and she has to be with somebody that's supposed to, you know, in royalty too. And Princess Momo's like, fuck that, you know. Yeah, she was like, you can teach me some things, but no, it's really cute. It's like really, really cutesy, really sweet. It's like very PG-13, and I just love it. It's so cute. And I think the final volume comes out next year, so I cannot wait. So yes, I definitely recommend that you guys pick this up, especially if you like Yuri. I think my Angel would definitely appreciate this. Yeah. But yes, 4 out of 5. Love it, love it, love it. And let's get into one that I've been following for a hot ass minute. I think it's like one of the first mangas that I read and heard about, besides Dick Fight Island. And that is Blood on the Tracks. Shout out to Mars and shout out to our Jennifer. Mars was always preaching about blood on the tracks, and I was like, what the hell is going on in this? So this story is a total mindfuck. And so you meet this boy and his relationship with his mother. She's very clingy. She's, you know, like a helicopter mom. And one day his mother does something totally twisted right in front of him. And this is where really his life starts to change for the worse. And you just get to see this relationship between this boy and his mother, and how like mental illness and like unchecked trauma can really affect people and people around you. So I think it was like 4 volumes that came out this year. So a lot of it was heavy on just the illustration, and he was working with just showing you, instead of with words, just the pictures and everything. And it was just so gut wrenching. And I love that the way that it ended. And now that it's all out, like I'm almost tempted to go back and just relive it from 1 to, I think it's 17 volumes. So I really recommend the series to anybody that's trying to get into manga, that likes horror, that likes psychological thrillers, things along that line. So, but just be warned, there are 17 books, and they're like, what, $10 a piece? So, and I know I don't have all the volumes. I think I have like 1, 2, and 3, and then I skipped like the whole middle and then came in at the end because I found them all through Hoopla or Libby. So yeah, definitely, if you're interested in that series, please go and check it out and see if it's on your Libby or your Hoopla, because it is worth having and picking up, but like that's a lot of money to drop at once. So, but if you guys like that, that's cool. Yeah. But yes, 4 out of 5. Loved it. A manga that I damn near gave 5 stars to was Monster Cats. Volumes 1 and 2. Oh my god. So I think that these books came at a great time in my life where I just needed something that was going to make me feel good and like, you know, like kick your feet and everything, because it's just so damn cute, and like squeal because there's just too much cuteness, and these books hit like that. And this is basically just an anthology series that has like different little cats. You know, one's a vampire, one's a swamp monster, one is a ghost, one is, you know, just, and how these humans have to take care of their cats and everything. They're just so cute. Just little short stories of all these different cats. And oh my god, the illustration in it is just so cute. Oh my god, I just love it. So yeah, at that time I was like, hell yeah, 5 out of 5. Oh my god, this is just so creative. But yeah, I hope there's going to be more next year. I don't know, but yeah, I would definitely love more. Another manga that I think is just going to blow up, and that is the guy that I was interested in really wasn't a guy. Oh man, I saw the solicitations for it to be published in English, and I was like, oh my goodness, this looks so good. And I know, I kept telling Inja, I was like, I know you'll like this. I haven't read it, but I feel like you're gonna love it. Okay, so I read it. It is, oh my goodness, I just want more. It went by too fast. So you meet these 2 girls. You meet the one girl, and she goes to the shop, like a record store, and she sees what she thinks is a guy behind the counter, and she's just like so in awe with him, quote unquote him. So besides going in there and trying to find music, she's in there to like chit chat with him. But little does she know it's a girl that she's talking to, because she has a mask over her face and everything, as you can see in the picture, and she wears it all the time. And, you know, um, she does look like very tomboyish, so, and she doesn't correct her or anything. We'll come to find out that that girl is a girl in her class in the same school. They have a couple classes together, and she's infatuated with her. So she goes along with her thinking that she's a boy. So there's this slow burn of these two like falling for each other, but but they don't really know each other, and it is just so great, and how they are pulled together by music, by and not just any type of music. Like they like a lot of like 90s grunge music or 80s grunge music, and nobody else really likes that, so that's their connection. And it is just so beautiful, and I cannot wait till like all the volumes come out. I'm pretty sure it'll be an anime at one time. This is just so worth it. If you like slow burns and just a beautiful little love story, like this is it. Oh my goodness. I can't. And I love how big, how oversized like the manga is, and how the layouts and the panels and everything are. It's just gorgeous. I think they only have like 3 colors. It's like green, white, and red. No, green, white, and black. And they just execute these panel layouts just beautifully. I'm just obsessed with this series. 4.5 out of 5. This next one is actually a manga, and I've read a lot of the BL manhwas, and this one is top tier, and that is The New Recruit. Okay, so this is like a office romance, very adult office romance. Like some of them could be like really immature, but this one is very adult like. So you meet these 2 guys. The one, he's like fresh out of college, has like really no direction, doesn't really know, but he needs a job. Like, he's starving, so he gets this job, and he gets into the designer part of it, even though he's not into designing. And he meets the manager of this company, and he's like, grumpy sunshine type shit, like and they start to work together, and they just get to see a whole nother side of each other as they are falling for each other. And I love how like a lot of BLs just a lot of manga could just be focused on like teenagers and stuff, but these are adults. This felt like an adult relationship, a more mature like way of going about things. And I just like, I can't stand the way he looks at him. I'd just be like dead when he just like just catches like glimpse of him, like the dark haired boy. Oh God, drives me absolutely wild. And I love the buildup of these 2, and it makes sense. And then like they start getting involved with each other, and the young one, the blonde hair, he's just like kind of like, I've never been in a relationship before. I don't even know how to act. Like, is this something I really want? Because he's my boss. I have to work with him. Like, so many things are going through his head as he is falling for him, and his boss is just like, fuck it, like he's been accused of like being cold, being like, just focus on work, but he wants more because like he's lonely, and he misses being in like with somebody, and he actually just opens up and like goes head first into this situation with this young man, and it's so good, and I cannot wait to read more this year. So yes, definitely 4.5 out of 5. This next manga that I'm going to talk about, I'm trying not to go like off the deep end with it, okay? So this is a very controversial one. I've heard. I actually read the first volume at one time and like sat on it afterwards. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just read? But I got drawn back in, and this is a prime example of like, if you're going to write toxic shit, this is how you write toxic shit. And Killing Stalking, Kuji did a phenomenal job with the psychological part, and the abuse and everything that these two individuals go through together. Okay, so stay with me now. Okay, I'm not saying that abuse and all this shit is right. Okay, but if you're going to write about a psychological thriller and, you know, like things of that nature, like killing and all that shit, then, you know, you need to be doing it right, you know? So you meet Bum, and he is, you know, just a nobody, no fucking body. And he's been abused all his life. He's been, you know, taken for granted. And he actually meets Songwoo. And Songwoo is everything that Bum is not. And he is just so infatuated with him. He's handsome. He's, you know, charming. You know, he's going to school. He's smart. He's everything, you know. So, you know, he does what every person that is in their right mind does when they like somebody. You know, you break into their house and go sniff their clothes and shit. And when he does that, he ends up getting hit in the fucking head with a baseball bat and ends up in the basement with a bunch of other bodies. And he finds out that his boy Song-woo is more like fucking Jeffrey Dahmer type shit. Oh my God. So just the two things that these two individuals go through together, and how like they both have been fucked up in a way, in different ways, but found themselves like toxically like being involved with each other. And it is a crazy ass ride. Okay, like sometimes you didn't know what was real and what wasn't real, and like the art, it was just crazy at times. I was like reading this with some of my really close friends at work, and I was just like we would talk about it for like hours because we just didn't, it was just so much to unpack, you know. So it touches into a lot of abuse, a lot of like psychological breaks. Like it's deep. So just know that. And I could see why people wouldn't like this, but I fucks with this. I fucks with this book and the series very hard. Okay, so, and it's funny because I read another series that I think is a prime example of fucked up toxic shit that you see too much in BL. And I'm looking at you, Jinx, okay? I'm coming for your ass later, but we won't get into that. But yes, I'm on the side of loving killing stalking. And yeah, there's 8 volumes. Like I said, I read 2 through 8. I like just ran through them, and then I had to wait months in between for like 6, 7, and 8, I think. So yeah, but yeah, 4 out of 5. Loved it. And I hated that it made me like give a fuck about these two people, you know, that were doing fucked up shit, because you knew the reason why they were doing fucked up shit. Like it was just like, ugh. I was like, he needs to go to fucking prison, but oh my God, please don't get caught. Like I felt that's how that's how it had me all the way through it. So yes, it was a hell of a ride, yeah. Now, I did not read a lot of Western comics in 2024, but the ones that I did read were phenomenal. So let's talk about those. The first one I want to talk about is Beneath the Trees Where No One Can See. I think that is on like everybody's list this year. So it is a story about like anamorphic characters. And then there's this bear, and she lives in a small town, lived there all her life, you know, like a pillar of her community, owns a warehouse, you know, like loves to help people out. But she likes to leave and go into the big city and actually hunt down just a random person and kills them. And she buries them and everything. And then she just goes about her day. Like she has like the urge to like just kill people. So everything's going great, but there is a killer in her hometown. And basically, she is scared that she's going to be exposed. So she goes on a hunt for that killer. And it is amazing. Like, it's very gory. If you don't like a lot of gore in your horror, you won't like this. But if you do and you don't mind it, man, this story is so fucking good. Like, I was amazed. And I was so happy that Hoopla had it out, because I could not find issue number 3 for the life of me. And Hoopla came through. So I was like, hell yeah. But this trade is worth picking up. It is so good. 4 out of 5. I loved it. Next one is a continuing series that we all love and enjoy, and that is Saga. I read like 6 issues came out this year, so it just continues to break my heart and put me through the ringer. You know, Alana's just trying to figure out how to raise these kids on the run and, you know, just keep them alive and shit. And Prince Robot is just really going through it, trying to find himself. And I think they all are, you know, but he's really going through it. And then, you know, some big ass events happen. And, I am just so scared to see who's next to die. Like, oh my God, like every little issue, I'm like holding my breath. I'm like, oh my God, please, no. So yeah, it's every issue is just so good. So many highs, so many lows, but man, yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes in the new year, you know, for this year. This series is so good, and that is DC versus Vampires. I absolutely love it when DC does like standalone stories like this, because like anybody can enjoy it. And oh my goodness, this is so worth picking up. So we're just continuing on that, you know, the world is being taken over by vampires, and no matter if you were good or bad, you know, on now there's people that used to be bad on the good side trying to survive, and then, you know, there's vampires that are just trying to control the humans and everything. And I love it that the creators like using characters that you don't even really hear about anymore. And like I said, you could pick this up without really knowing any of these characters and still enjoy it. But if you do, then you're always like, oh shit, there's blah blah blah, there's blah blah blah, you know. So but it's just such a good ride. I'm really enjoying it. So I definitely give this a 4 out of 5. Last but definitely not least, and that is Daddy Batman, The Court of Owls, Volume 1. Okay. I swear to you, I'm going to read the rest of it, okay, in this year. But the one that I did read was phenomenal. So anybody that hasn't read any DC, this is worth picking up, I promise you. So I never do this story justice, like trying to explain it, because it's so good, and I'm just fucking got that Clark County education, but I'm gonna try. So you meet Batman and Bruce, aka Batman, and he's like in his prime, you know, like he's got years up under him. He thinks he's, you know, shit. He's doing good. He's fighting crime. He feels like he's making a change in Gotham, you know, and he feels like he knows Gotham. But little does he know, he doesn't know shit. And there's this organization, kind of almost like the Illuminati, that's been around for like years and is hell bent on taking down the Waynes. And they're picking them off one by one. And then Batman realizes, Batman, aka Bruce, learns that everything isn't what it seems, you know, like he does not know anything. And his whole world just starts unraveling. And people that he thought he knew, he really didn't know. And he gets like caught up into this case that has been happening under his nose like the whole time. So it is phenomenal. Like the two that worked on this series together did a phenomenal job. Like they really like outdid themselves. And I need everybody to fucking read this because it's so damn good. So if you're ever interested in Batman, that's where you should start, in my opinion. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Beautiful. Right, let's get into some novels, like regular novels. So this year I was heavy in the MM romance. Like, just give me all the smut, give me all the guys, kissing guys. Okay, that's all I want. That's all I wanted to hear this year. Okay, so one of the ones that I first listened to was Him by Serena Bowman, and I've been chasing this high ever since I listened to this book, and I absolutely love this book. So it's like rivals to friends, friends to lovers. Okay, so you meet Jamie and Wes, and they go to, they're both playing hockey, and they're both really great at playing hockey. And when they first meet each other, they're rivals. They're like 15 years old, 15, 16 years old when they first meet each other. And they go to this camp together. And every year, they try to one up each other. And then finally they realize that, like, hey, we could be friends and everything. So they're friends. And then even outside of camp in the summer, they would keep in touch and like became like the best of friends. So I think one of their final years that they were last year in summer camp, they end up having more than a friend's moment. And Wes knowing that he's gay and Jamie being straight, even though they have a moment together, Wes freaks the hell out. He's like, oh my God, I done, manipulated. He felt like he manipulated his friend into doing something that he wouldn't have been okay with, so he totally like ghosts Jamie. So it isn't until years later that they're both playing hockey in college that they run into each other because they have to play each other, and those feelings are still there. All that unsaid shit and those that everything, all those emotions are still there. So they end up in a predicament where they have to be around each other, and then things start happening. So I love the burn of them. Oh my God. And then I listened to this book, and both of my favorite narrators for reading this book, oh my God, it was ruining my life. Jacob Morgan and Teddy Hamilton fucking killed it. The only thing that would have made, if it was that would have made it perfection, was if they did a duet, like where they were talking to each other. Lord, I don't think I could have survived that. Okay. So he knew I wouldn't have been able to. Okay. I wouldn't have listened to nothing else for the rest of the year if I could listen to those two talk to each other. So yes, I absolutely love it. Top tier romance. Like, yes, give it all to me. I would even almost call this a 5-star. Okay. But that's only because they didn't talk to each other. They're not going to get the 5-star. Okay. 4.5. Love it. Mwah. All right, sticking with the sports theme and the theme, we have For the Fans. Now, this is by Nyla K, and it's crazy because this author wrote one of my favorite books I'm about to talk about, and one book that I fucking hated. Like, it's up there with Goodnight Poon Poon, okay? Fucking hated that book, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So we are going to talk about For the Fans by Nyla K. So this author is an author that likes to write about like taboo shit. And I'm with it. Long as you ain't trying to like, do anything with fucking kids, like I'm open, okay? So, and if it's done right, I'm going to listen to it, okay? I'm going to get on board. So, this is the first book that I've ever read, like, where, like, step siblings are really, like, messing with each other, okay? So stay with me, right? So you get to meet these two dudes, and one name is Javi, and the other one, fuck, I forgot his name. He's, like, the jock, okay? So Javi, he's, like, a really kickback guy. He likes to smoke. He likes to hang out with his friends. He's an artist. Like, he's just, like, very, very chill, So then his father passes away and his mother meets a new dude, and like at this time he's like 16, 17 years old, okay? And then he meets his new stepbrother, and he's a jock. He's like, pretty boy, fucking, all out athlete, football player, fucking, quarterback, all that, just everything, like a golden boy, and as soon as they meet each other, they fucking hate each other, and they actually end up like fist fighting each other at one time, because just having to see each other and deal with each other, and like having to force to be like family, so they end up going to college, and they end up going to the same college because Javi just wants to get on his nerves and goes to the same college. Well, daddy loses his job, so he can't pay for the guys to go to this really nice school, so they are strapped for cash. So Javi's best friend is into OnlyFans shit, and she's like, hey, I know a way that you can make money. My people are always asking for 3-ways, so maybe you and your stepbrother can, and he's like, why would you pick my stepbrother? Jesus. And she's like, because you're both are hot, and you guys like, you hate each other, so it'll be hot. And so she propositions both of them, and come to find out there's more chemistry between the stepbrothers than just like hating each other. So like and you get to see how they go through it, how by awakening and like just undealt trauma and shit has led for them to like love each other and fall for each other. And work through everything together. And I just absolutely fucking loved it. I loved how she took her time to build these fucking characters up and how it just made sense that they were together, you know. And unlike her other fucking book, oh my God. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm going to read some more of her shit. And absolutely not. Because when I read, what is it, Push or Pull, whatever, Lord, if I could sue her for my 11 hours, and I know that nobody forced me to listen to 11 hours of that fucking book, but I was so invested. So I hate listen to it, okay? And my Jennifer said that you can hate read a book and hate listen to a book. So, and her word is law around here. So, and I was just pissed the whole fucking time. But anyways, but no, For the Fans is totally, totally worth it. Okay. So, yeah, I definitely give this book a 4 out of 5. Love them. All right. All right. Okay. So let's just stick with the hockey theme and let's talk about the Jackson Rays hockey series. I think that's what it is. Yeah. The Jackson Rays, like Pucking Around, Pucking Sweet, Pucking Ever After, that whole series. So I never read this series before. I saw it like on, you know, online, you know, how Book Talk and TikTok be telling you what you should read. So I'm like, why does this thing keep popping up in my recommends? And I'm so glad it did, okay? Because now this is how I was. I was like, what the fuck have I been missing? Okay, so basically it's White Shoes books, you know. So you meet this girl and she's actually like really famous, or her daddy's famous, like Aerosmith like type shit, you know. So she is trying to become, well, she becomes a sports therapist for, you know, any type of sport. So she actually meets this guy and he's a hockey player and they end up having a one night stand, but it's like they met each other's, you know, like she met her soulmate type shit, but she never like let it go more than just one night. Okay, so she ends up getting a job and guess where she has to end up working with? His ass. Okay, so he plays for the hockey team that she just got hired at. But before she sees him again, she runs into his best friend, and her and his best friend have like a moment, and she's like, what the fuck? But his best friend is also in love with him. So these three end up getting into like, you know, a fucking triangle of like whatever, trying to figure out like how they're gonna work. And then other things happen, and at first I was like, okay, I can see this, I'm going. But then she did some fuck shit that I thought it was gonna be fuck shit. I thought she was playing with these boys' feelings, and I didn't like that, and she was being fucking annoying, so I stopped listening to it for a while. But then I was like, no, let me push through it, you know, let me just get over this hump. And I'm glad I did, because I absolutely loved it. Loved all the characters. I could see how like she couldn't choose, and like, oh, I just loved it. I would go to work and tell my best friend, I'm like, best friend, I want hockey players and them to be in love with each other too. She's like, what the fuck? She doesn't, she's not even surprised by the stupid shit I say anymore. But yes, I absolutely love this. And then Pucking Sweet is about another couple, another throuple that goes through it. So all of it's fun. I love all of it. And I love the little side stories, like the ones you can see, the littler ones. Like it really, like, you really get to see how they live their lives, you know. And it's not easy, like being in a you know, a monogamous relationship is hard, but you know, being in a relationship with multiple people and being in the spotlight is hard work, you know, and it takes its toll. So you really get to see how they live their lives day in and day out. So, and you get to see how they all fall in love with each other. Like, ugh, I just love it. They're just fucking trash for the series. Yes, 4 out of 5. All right. Next up is one of my favorite ongoing series, and that is the Mercy Thompson series. And the book is called Winter Lost. Now, this is like the 14th book of the series. Oh my God, I'm dedicated to this shit. So, there's this girl named Mercy, and in her world, all creatures are alive, like werewolves, vampires, fae, everything you could think of lives in this world. And she's actually a shifter herself. She gets shifted to a coyote, and she is married to a alpha of the wolf pack in her town, and Mercy be getting her ass into all kinds of trouble, right? So, and I just love this story because it is so well put together. The world building in the story is beautiful. The characters, the development of the characters is phenomenal, and I love listening to it because Laura King does like a phenomenal job at telling the story. Every fucking character, you know exactly what's going on. Like, I just love it. So, in this installment, Mercy has a curse in her, and it's slowly killing her. But her brother comes up missing, and he is accused of taking something from an ancient being, and Mercy is like kind of like forced to go find out what happened to her brother, like where the hell he is. And it takes her to like the ski lodge, and her mate end up going and trying to solve a missing person on top of a murder, on top of like hoping that she could find some resolution to this curse that is slowly killing her. So I just love it. It was so good. And you know how you have to wait forever for a book to come out, and this book was so worth the wait. I loved it. Loved every moment of it. So the series, it's more heavily on the plot and everything like that. It's not smutty at all. Like, it's like really PG-13, but it's so worth the reading. I know you can take a break from it sometimes, but it's worth the break. But yeah, this is definitely a 4 out of 5 for me. Just absolutely love Mercy. This next book surprised the hell out of me, and that was Immortal Dark, yep. And man, so this is another book that I saw on, Book Talk, and especially like Black YouTubers were preaching about this book, and I was like, hell yeah, Black vampires, let's fucking go. So, I got the feeling of, if you ever read the book Cruel Prince by Holly Black, so the enemies to lovers energy that Holly Black's Cruel Prince gives, and then it reminded me of the Ninth House, the dark academia part of it, and like the magic and the rules of magic and everything. So you meet this book girl, and I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, and she's like a lost heir to this family, this powerful family, and her sister is missing, and she is hell-bent on finding her sister and does not give a shit who she takes down, who she kills, whatever she can to get her sister back. So she actually gets a clue that this particular vampire may have been the one that took her sister, but he lives on a campus where she's actually supposed to be. He lives on this campus, on this like college community, and she has to somehow enroll, like basically like infiltrate the school in order to get close to this vampire, to get answers about where her sister is. And I was just blown away. Like, I've never read anything by this author. I don't know if this is their first time writing. I'm not too sure, but man, I was blown away. I was blown away by the magic, by the history, by the culture, by the side characters. I loved it that the house was like alive at times, like in Ninth House. I was like, what the fuck? This is dope. And I was so jealous of this girl every time she go to school, because she had to like maintain her grades and shit to stay in the school. And she always like bitch and complain about going to class. And I was like, girl, this shit is interesting. Like, be quiet so I can so I can hear about the history of all the dark magic and shit. But yeah, this is another one. This is actually a YA fantasy, and I was surprised because I was like, huh, okay. When I didn't really know anything about it going into it, let me be honest. So, but I was shocked that it was a YA. So it's like very over the clothes, like dry humping type shit, and that's okay. It was good. I know a lot of people had mixed reviews about it, and I actually was going like back and forth about this one or Sarah J's one that she put out this year, but I was like, no, this one surprised me and had me hooked. So yeah, it made the cut and love it. So 4 out of 5. So this next one, this next one. So this is part of Nikki St. Crow's Peter Pan series, the Lost Boys series, and that is the Devourer of Men. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, when I tell you, this woman had my toes curling listening to this book, okay? So this is like the last book of the series. I already said that? I'm sorry. This book got me all the way fucked up. So it's the story of Hook and the Croc and Wendy, okay? And man, this book was and this little short story was so good. I was so mad the way that it ended. I was like, you're really edging us like this, woman. I do not appreciate this shit. So, Croc and Croc is an actual person. Like, he's not an actual, like, crocodile at times, but he does turn into a crocodile at times. You just gotta listen or read it, okay, to understand. But him and James, of course, they have history. You know, the Croc done bit off James's hand, but there's tension between these two besides being enemies. So it's like enemies to lovers. Ugh, and I'm trash for enemies to lovers. I fucking love this shit, okay? Just eat it up. So they go to search for Wendy because Wendy Darling was taken. Okay, so they're both trying to seek her out, and they both have history with Wendy Darling. And when they find her, they repeat history with Wendy Darling. And Lord, when Nikki St. Crow made Croc tell James that he only had 6 words, Lord, I almost fell to my knees. Okay, when I heard this, I was like, oh my God. It was so good. She did a phenomenal job writing this. And then it's just so quick and it's over. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? You're going to add just like that? And no telling when she's going to bring out the next one. Oh my God. So yes, I enjoy this very, very much. And the narrators, oh my God. Yes, Lord. So these next 2 MM books that I want to talk about by Marlene Valentine. Oh man, these books broke my heart, okay? Like, they had me all in my feelings. So the first one I want to talk about is Without You. And this is like, man, it's like a story, like a unforgettable story about like finding love after loss, okay? So you meet this guy, and his name is Deacon, and he has a brother named Rhett, an older brother named Rhett. And Rhett falls in love with the dude named Julian that lives next door, and he's like the boy next door type shit. Like, everybody loves him except for Deacon. Deacon can't stand his ass because when he comes over, like, everybody forgets about him, you know? So Rhett is actually diagnosed with cancer, and he sadly passes away. And him and Julian had been together for quite a few years, you know? So in the wake of his brother's passing, you know, they're both hurting. And Julian and Deacon end up like having this raw like connection and moment between each other. They don't sleep with each other or anything, but they end up embracing each other and feeling something that's more than just grief. So, you know, years pass by, and like a year passes by, and Deacon moves away, and he has to come back to his hometown to do a memorial for his brother's passing. And then that time he is confronted by Julian again, and confronted by the feelings that he's harbored all this time for Julian. And what's the fucked up part is, it's like, holy shit, I'm in love with my brother, my dead brother's, you know, boyfriend. Like, this can't be, you know, kind of like almost like forbidden love. But oh man, it's like, it's almost like a second chance. And I think the reason why this book like really punched me in the fucking chest is because like I just lost somebody that I loved. So just that, having something that, you know, I can connect to, like somebody would understand grief that the same moment that I was understanding it, even though it wasn't real, but I could feel their hurt and I could feel their loss, but I could feel like the hope of something else, so it was just beautiful. I remember just like listening to this book in my car, just like fucking sobbing, so it really touched me. So, and then, but yes, it's definitely worth reading, and watching them overcome a lot of things just to like have a chance at something big. And then then we have the next book is Wanting You Still. And man, so these two guys, Lord knows I can't remember their names, and I don't even remember how I remember the first three. Okay. So these two meet at a bar and they end up hooking up with each other, and a one night stand turns into like several nights of staying together. And like once before, now again, they believe that they are like soulmates. And one is in the army, so he leaves and like he lives for his, for being in the service, and he leaves, and then they end up like writing love letters to each other, but they're just trying to get to know each other. And then all of a sudden, the letters stop coming from the dude that's not in the service. So homeboy comes back and from overseas or wherever the hell he was, and he comes back and he ends up seeing the dude. And not only does he see him, homeboy is engaged to his sister. Dun, dun, dun. I was like, what the? When I read that, I was like, are you fucking? Oh my God. It had me all the way fucked up. So not only are they in love with each other, like, oh my goodness, and now he's going to marry his fucking sister. Like, I was dead. So, oh man, this book threw me for a loop. But just all the emotions, all the like bullshit that they had to go through, like, ugh. And I don't condone, the whole thing that they went through, but man, it made sense what they went through. It doesn't, but it did. Okay, so, and another thing about Marley Valentine, like, she's really good at telling her character's feelings without like overdoing it, like keep repeating herself. No, like she makes you feel what her characters are going through, and she executes their feelings so well, like you can't help but to be so wrapped up in their bullshit, so ugh. And this is another book that I was just like crying because like his heart was just so fucking broken, and how he had to just put himself back together to let this man go so he could be happy with his sister. Oh my God, I was like, fuck. So, but yes, definitely worth picking up. 4.5 out of 5, both of them. Mwah, love you. Love you, my babies. All right, we're almost to the finish line, man. These last two series. Oh man, let's go. So I fell in love with the Butcher and Blackbird series, the trilogy. Well, there's only 2 books out, but the first one is Butcher and the Blackbird, and the second one is Leather and Lark. Oh my God, I fell so hard for these Kane boys. Okay, so it's 2 serial killers falling in love with each other, and it is the most craziest concept. So I really got into dark romance like the last bit of last year. So, and I kind of took a break from it, and then I heard about Butcher and the Blackbird. I was like, yeah, let me try it out, and I listened to it, and they have a full cast audio of it, like the dramatized one, and it is phenomenal, fucking phenomenal. Oh my God. And fucking Rowan has that accent, so does his brother. Lord help us. Okay, so these two meet because they're both in the business of killing, right? And they just like kind of court each other and fall in love over years, and then they play a game with each other. Basically, they meet up every year and they pick a person that they're going to kill, and they can see who can kill this person first. Now now just to let you know, if you're gonna read this, like, listen to the trigger warnings, because so many fucking gross things happen in this book, but it's funny at the same time. If that makes sense, you just gotta read it or listen to it for yourself to understand what I'm talking about. But it's so worth it. I love that he falls for her first. I love that, oh my God, I just love this fucking book so much. But, and then the second one, that is my shit. Leather and Lark. Oh my God. I just love them so much. Lark is the shit. I knew she was going to be my girl when in the beginning of the book, it's Halloween and she's dressed as Harley Quinn. I said, this is my bitch right here. This is my girl. And yes, she stole my heart. Okay. And then her, Leather and Lark is about like enemies to lovers, fake dating, marriage for convenience, oh my god, it has like everything that I love, and I just absolutely fell so hard for them. Oh my god. Lachlan. Yes, baby. Yes, but yes, I absolutely love this series. Love it, love it, love it. If you like dark romance, if you like comedy, like you'll find yourself like cracking up at certain parts between all of them, okay? So, and they're intertwined with each other, but you don't really need to read. I feel like you don't really need to read one before the other to really understand, because like they have their own little separate lives. And yes, you do see them and they're intertwined, but I don't feel like you need to really read them in order to understand it, So that's the cool thing about it. But I am super excited for Scythe and Sparrow to come out this year. So, yes, definitely a wild ride, but very much worth it. Yes. All right, last but definitely not motherfucking least, and that is the Lioness series, Salt Kiss. And oh man, this series has me all the way fucked up. I love the series so much. I think if I had to pick just one like regular novel that I read series, I guess would be the top one. Okay, so man, where do I start with this book, this series? So you meet this guy named Tristan, and he is fresh out of the army, and he's done some things, he's seen some things, and that he can't turn away from, it haunts him every fucking day, right? So he tries to put himself back out into like a mundane life, and it's just not doing nothing for him. So his dad recently gets married to this woman, and this woman has twin siblings. One's a guy and one's a girl, right? And the guy's name is Mark. And Mark used to be in the CIA, and he's done some fucking dirty shit and, killed some people. He's just shady as fuck, okay? But Mark runs this nightclub, or not this nightclub. He runs this club, and it's a sex club, and it's not just like fucking Planet Fitness where everybody can just, join. It's like for the fucking elite, And he's in the service of looking for a bodyguard, and he hires his new step nephew to become his bodyguard. And Tristan is so in awe with Mark, whoever meets Mark is basically in awe of Mark, and he gets his ass entangled with Mark and gets his ass into a lot of trouble working at this club and just dealing with Mark every day, day out. So now the twist is that Mark is engaged and he is to be married, and he's over here messing around with Tristan, and Tristan's like heartbroken about it. But something happens to Mark to where he can't officially go pick up his wife because she lives in another country. So he sends Tristan instead, and they're supposed to come back. So he flies him over there in a fucking plane, I was about to say. And they're supposed to come back on a boat because Mark's plan was to woo his new fiance and shit. So Tristan goes and picks her up, and when he sees Marisol for the very first time, they say it's like coming home, and they have an instant, not even attraction, but just this deep rooted fucking if you um love at first sight type shit. And now these two are involved with each other, just this whole fucking triangle with these three. But there's something else going on the side. It's just it's such a good fucking story. I was blown away, and I've never read anything by this author, but man, they know how to put a story together, and they know how to write feelings, and they know how to they did their homework on this one. I swear to God, they knew the assignment and they fucking showed out, okay? Because this is pure perfection. The way that she talks and the way she makes Mark a real dom, and she makes Tristan a total submissive, and the way she did her research on these kinks, and it was just oh, it's just so fucking good. I need everybody to read this and just be obsessed with me, okay? So I need the fourth one to come out very soon, or I'm going as I tell Anika, I'm just gonna run out into traffic, okay, if I do not get this fourth book soon, because I need to know what happens between all three of these fucking idiots, okay? So yes, oh my god, 4.5 out of 5. I love this series, love it.